All right, how's it going, everyone? We are on day 20, path 30 of Resh or Raflifu. Raflifu, however you want to say it. Raflifu. All right, I will first show the image of the card from the Shadow Tarot. There we go. Alrighty. Let's get started. The 30th tunnel is under the aegis of Raflifu, whose name should be vibrated mellifluously in the key of D. His sigil is to be painted in rayed red upon an amber disc. The kala filtering through this tunnel is of a solar nature. In the infernal tube of Raflifu, this becomes blackened, rather like a deep shadow cast in bright sunlight. The number of Raflifu, 406, is that of the letter Tau, or Tav, spelt in full, or extended. The mystical Tau, or sign of the cross, became an emblem of the god of the dead because the cross symbolizes the crossing over from being to non-being. It is the special emblem of Shaitan, the Chaldean form of Set, the identity of Osiris, god of the dead, and Set, the black sun. And Set, the black sun, is substantiated in the symbol of the Tau. 406 is the number of the Hebrew word athh, atah or ato, meaning thou, as in do what thou wilt in the cult of Thelema. Yeah, I guess you could do that if you wanted to. People will see through the lenses they're wearing. It's not that it doesn't mean that. It's just that that's not all that it means. Do what thou wilt, and is an exhortation to the sun or spirit and the blackness of Amenta, i.e., the subconsciousness. It is an invocation of the true will, i.e., it is an invocation of the true will and of that spontaneity which is the supreme state of consciousness, described by Wei Wu Wei as non-volitional living. See note. See All Else is Bondage and Other Works by Wei Wu Wei. Okay. Ate, A-T-H, is one aspect of the triple deity, Aha, A-H-A, which comprises Ani, I, Hua, H-W-A, he, and Ate, thou, so I, he, and thou. Three facets of a deity worshipped in three persons and in three ways. There was also Aha, I believe, is one of the 72 names of God as well. I could be wrong about that. So, the three facets of a deity worshipped in three persons and in three ways. 1, with averted face. 2, with prostration. And 3, with identification. The initials AHA add up to 7, the number of the stellar goddess whose symbol in this context is the glyph of a goddess. Let me reread that, sorry. The stellar goddess whose symbol in this context is the glyph of a sexual formula consisting also of three aspects. 1, PVN with averted face. 2, cunnilingus with prostration. And 3, normal coitus with identification. Very interesting. See note, PVN. For details concerning PVN, pervas nefandum, which comports the use of the 11th degree OTO and therefore the Eye of Set. See Aleister Crowley in The Hidden God, page 107, 108. Okay. The above is substantiated Kabbalistically by the fact that the number of Raflifu is the result of adding together the series of numbers from 1 to 28, which connects it with the lunar cycle. Okay. So, a couple explanations, just simply. AHA adds to 7 because Aleph, hey, Aleph. Aleph is the first letter, hey is the fifth letter. Aleph, again, the first letter equals 7. And 28 relates to the moon because there's typically 28 days and some change on cycle of the moon. If you didn't know, now you know, brother and sister and everyone who is watching. 406 is the number of Kush, QVSH, meaning a bow, from the Egyptian word Keser, K-E-S-R, an arrow. The symbol of Sothis, the star of Set, which again indicates the 11th degree OTO. The bow and arrow are among the magical weapons ascribed to this Kala. 406 is also the number of SHVQ, meaning watereth, overflow, from the Egyptian Sekh, S-E-K-H, liquid, and SHQV, to drink, from the Egyptian Sheku, S-H-E-K-U, drink. THV, also 406, means desire, and MOTZ-VR signifies cohabitio, restraint, withholding, which suggests that a form of kareza also pertains to this tunnel. These ideas refer to a libation, and the sexual nature of this drink offering is confirmed by the corresponding text in Liber 231. Now remember, this might be one of the more important things we talk about on this channel. Sex magic can happen between you and your anima or animus as well. This is perhaps real sex magic. Yeah, absolutely. You can do the no pants dance. You can spank ankles. You can do the physical sex magic thing, and that will get you results. That will get you results more than just physically. But remember that all of this can be applied internally. And I'm not saying that you have to imagine having sex with the anthropomorphization of your unconscious, subconscious mind. You can, of course, but this is about immersion. This is about conjunction, okay? Just as putrefaction can lead to purification, conjunction can lead to sublimation, is one way to think about this. Moving on. Okay. The corresponding text in Liber 231. Then did the sun appear unclouded, and the mouth of Asi was on the mouth of Asar. This refers to the twins, Set Horus, embracing and becoming one with the black sun, Osiris or Shaitan, the god of the crossing. The sigil of Raflifu exhibits the horned trident of Typhon of Choronzon, flanked on either side by the axe or Neter sign, and surmounted by a black sun in the arms of a crescent moon. The horned trident is the triple deity whose formula has been explained above. The axe is the sign of deity. That's one thing an axe represents. It is the instrument of cleaving, and it is therefore of the goddess, the cleft one, who is Neter. That is, she is neither male nor female, but neuter, for she is both male and female in a mystical sense, that is indicible, I-N-D-I-C-I-B-L-E. So, I'm trying to figure out if I should even get into this or not, because there's something to be said about the thing that produces the cleft. being separate from the cleft itself, but when from the forest itself comes the handle for the axe, as one has said before, it sort of has a cyclical nature. So I think I'll just move on. The axe sign is represented by the Arabic figure of 7. Her planetary vehicle is Venus, one of whose names is Aha, whose number is also 7. The leopard is the animal sacred to this tunnel. The black and gold of its spots symbolize the sun and the darkness of Amenta, or, in magical terms, the sexual gold illuminating the subconsciousness with its lightnings. The hawk is the bird of the sun, golden in the upper air, where it typifies Horus, black in the abyss, where it typifies Set. The magical CD connected with the 30th path is the power of acquiring wealth, gold, and of preparing the red tincture. This symbolism combines the solar and lunar elements in one alchemical glyph. The disease typical of this kala of solar energy is depletion. The fedors of swamps and marshes are symbolic of the sick sun and Amenta. He says Amenta. See note, for the meaning of the sick sun, the sun in its feminine phase. See the works of Gerald Massey. The Qliphote therefore haunt this tunnel in the form of willow-wisps, or marsh gases, that resemble the curious phosphorescines. Why can't I say that word? Phosphorescines observed by sensitives over the graves of the dead. Phosphorescines. Okay. I believe that is all. Raflifu. Yep. Alrighty. Moving on. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Show the image here again. Okay. Okay. Raflifu, the shadow of the sun. Following Wu Wei, Kia, neither, unobscured by ego masks, the self expresses ecstasy, coming to self-knowledge as a warrior on the path with heart. The hawk of solar consciousness casts Raflifu in deep shadow with hooded wings. Raflifu is the power of the sun and the depths of darkness. The dark sun, the sun and Amenta. Raflifu is ego consciousness surrendered in shamanic passage to the underworld of the the underworld of the subconscious. Raflifu is ego consciousness surrendered in shamanic passage to the underworld of the subconscious. The self, thus unobscured by Maya generating ego experiences, or illusion generating ego experiences, the self, thus unobscured by Maya generating ego, experiences cellular ecstasy. Consciousness of the continuity of existence, the unfragmentary non-atomic fact of my universality. Liber All 126. Consciousness of the continuity of existence, the unfragmentary non-atomic fact of my universality. Stars are thus illumined in the shadow of the sun, Below lurks the dark double, Horparkrat, the hidden god, the dark god, Adonai, the daemon, the personal genius, the unknowable self. Yet Lucifer, Shaitan Iwas, the lord of hell, and of the underworld, who, by initiating Homo, Homo in all caps, into good and evil, made him fully human, tempts him with the ultimate initiation, know thyself. His method, Liber Samech, the Sumerian ritual of Goetia, howlings, liberates consciousness into wild intoxication with existence, into Dionysian madness, illumines the subconscious self with lux, capital L, capital V, capital X, the light of gnosis, and yields the nature of one's angel, which is in essence the true will, making humans as the very gods. Between them and Aminta hangs the 8-armed cuttlefish, entangler, symbol of the right brain spontaneity. An uninhibited animal functioning of the Huna, little self, capital Huna. She is the Nater, Neter, all caps, goddess, Thetis, she who disposes. She who orders, great Typhon, who propels phallically along producing the red tincture, which appears below as gold. Blank eyes are as mirrors of no self, the antithesis of solar consciousness. Here are the masks of God. Here are masks of personality worn by the self through succeeding incarnations. Here is the dark king anointed with sepia cuttlefish ink, the wicker man. How do you say this name? Is it Culain? Cuchulain. Cuchulain, but I think it's like a Welsh word though, so it's kind of like French where they only like to sing half of the song of their sentences. They only produce so many letters. Cuchulain, I'll say, and the cauldron of Ceridwen, undergoing rebirth and illumination. I forgot how to say that name. Anyway, here is the Buddha beneath his Bo tree, Wotan hanging under the world tree, Yggdrasil, Inanna disrobed to enter Ereshkigal's dark realm, there to hang upon a peg like rotting meat. Here is Ankh of Nakhonsu, coming forth from Amenta. Or is it Ankh of Onkonsu? Who knows? Ankh of Nakhonsu, coming forth from Amenta to take his pleasure among the living. Here is ego surrendered, settling the eternal spirit free. All right. Raflifu meditation. And the tunnel of Raflifu is the power of transcendence of the ego and evolution beyond the existential centaur to transpersonal, subtle, and causal realms with access to the wealth of the subconscious. Raflifu is access to past life, reincarnation awareness, access to the self whose hidden face lies beyond the masks, and access to the magic which underlies the phenomenal world. In Raflifu, we contact inner guides to channel transpersonal material. In Raflifu, we find the source of our creative genius. In Raflifu, our cultured innocence and the inner peace necessary to the inability to co-create one's life. I always feel like I'm giving some sort of like brainwashing doctrine, because there were churches that I attended as a child where they would say, in this force there is kindness, in this force there is strength and mercy, and it was you get the idea. It kind of happened here when I was reading it, probably. Alrighty, moving on. In Raflifu, we encounter dissatisfaction, depression, intellectualization of motivations, alienation from feelings, callousness, and failure to see the spirit inherent in all life and N, the earth and the earth herself. I skipped a whole lot. My apologies. In Raflifu, we contact inner guides to channel transpersonal material. In Raflifu, we find the source of our creative genius. In Raflifu, our cultured innocence and the inner peace necessary to the ability to co-create one's life. In Raflifu, by following the path of Wu Wei, Kia, neither, Nox, capital N-O-X, removing ego interference through mantras, meditation, exhaustion, dissipation, the natural lucid wisdom of subconsciousness comes through, uniting body, mind, cellular consciousness, and animal wisdom into a healthy, effortlessly functioning, unarmored personality, a warrior on the path with heart. Need to work with the energies of Raflifu are signaled by hero worship, dependence on a higher power, accompanied by feelings of worthlessness, insignificance, powerlessness, and Raflifu is overweening pride and glorification of the personal ego, confusion and internal conflict, a lack of centering, direction and purpose. In Raflifu, we encounter dissatisfaction, depression, intellectualization of motivations, alienation from feelings, callousness, and failure to see the spirit inherent in all life and in the earth herself. Raflifu brings danger through lack of healthy ego development and integration, leading to obsessions, possession, psychic and or psychological disintegration. Okay. Tunnels of Set by Asenath Mason. Oh, I grabbed the wrong book. Apologies. Be right back. Did I grab it from the bookshelf over here? Okay. I was wondering why the bookmark was so out of place. Alrighty. Here we go. Focus on the sigil and chant or vibrate the name of the guardian until you feel a connection with the energy of the tunnel. At the same time, envision the image coming alive, moving and growing until you see it spreading before you like a landscape you can enter. Clouds of black smoke emerge from the image, flowing into the ritual space and enveloping around you. They carry a fragrance of exotic incense and sparkles of gold light that charge the atmosphere in the temple. When you get to this point, extinguish the candles, close your eyes, and with the image building up in your inner mind, send a message to the guardian of the tunnel to guide you through this journey. Visualize that for a moment, everything fades away, and the whole world disappears. Then the darkness around you crystallizes into a scenery. You are in a wilderness that at first looks like a desert, but there are withered trees, and the ground seems made of dirt and dust rather than sand. The sun is setting, and it is low at the horizon. Blood red against the purple sky. The sun is setting, and is low at the horizon, blood red against the purple sky. There is a vulture sitting on one of the trees, and after a while it approaches to be your guide through the landscape of the tunnel. As you follow the bird, you notice that it leads you in the direction of the setting sun. And when the sun disappears behind the horizon, you reach an entrance to an underworld temple with a trident inscribed on the door. Activate it with your blood and see how the door opens to let you in. When you go inside, you find yourself in a labyrinth made of black stones. The air carries the fragrance of exotic incense, and you feel how your astral senses become sharper with each step forward. As you move through the corridors, you start seeing reflections in their black walls. At first, these are only vague images, but as you move forward, they become clearer. All of them are reflections of you. Each one shows a different part of you, your weaknesses and strengths, your plans and dreams, your fears and passions. All that you have been and all that you can be. Sometimes they are grotesque, abstract, or deformed. Other times they frighten you. As you walk down, you can see more and more of them, and this seems to have no end. Finally, you collapse and let the images in these walls come alive and attack you, tearing you apart and making you feel confused, insane, and lost in the labyrinth of your own mind. Let it happen. At some point, you will feel as if your head explodes, letting all these images out. When this happens, see them dispersing into the blackness of the void, and rise, moving forward by the force of your will alone. Nothing matters anymore, neither the past nor the future. Let yourself simply be, and let your intuition guide you into the depths of the labyrinth, guided by the inner light, the sun within. Travel to the depths of the tunnel, and open yourself to whatever this journey will bring. When the whole experience is over, travel back to your physical body, close the working, and return to your normal consciousness. Or if you so choose, a more grounded one. All right, that's it for this one. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below. If you want to offer any suggestions, if you want to, let me know anything. Just let me know. I will probably start putting my email back in the descriptions again. I forgot about that because some people like to contact me privately. They don't want to ask questions in the comments. So yeah, anyway, everyone have a good rest of the day, have a good rest of the week, have a good rest of the month, have a good rest of the year, have a good rest of your life, and I will see you the next time I see you, or I'll never see you again. Either way, I hope you have a good one. Thanks.